Hello everybody, this is X here, and today I'm bringing you another World of Warcraft top 10 countdown. Today it is Frost Death Knight abilities, so let's get into it. Number 10, Blood Boil. Now this ability requires one blood rune in order to use, and it will deal 60% of your attack power in shadow damage to all enemies around you within 10 yards. And it will also spread any existing diseases to all enemies which are hit. If you are in blood, you will refresh them to the full duration, and it will also increase your healing from the next death by 20%. But for Frost, unfortunately, it does not give any other bonuses. So the reason I like this ability is mainly just because it hits all enemies around you, and it can help you deal with big crowds of enemies. Number 9, Death Strike. Now this requires one Unholy and one Frost rune to use, and it will focus dark power into a strike which deals 114% physical damage and will heal you for 60% of the damage done. Now in blood it does give bonuses, but unfortunately in Frost it doesn't give any special abilities except for healing you. The reason I like this ability is for the fact that it does heal you a decent amount of HP and can be very useful in life or death situations. Number 8, Frost Strike. Now this requires 40 runic power to use and will deal 75% weapon damage and frost damage to your opponents. Now if you are Frost, which is what this video is all about, it will increase the damage slightly to I believe 100% weapon damage. The reason that I personally like this ability is just a really cool ability. It does a lot of damage and just very useful ability. Number 7, Icy Touch. Now this requires one Frost rune in order to use, and it will chill the target for a certain percentage of your attack power as frost damage, and it will also inflict Frost Fever. Now Frost Fever will damage the opponent for every 3 seconds for 30 seconds, dealing frost damage. Now the reason I like this ability is it can be used at range, so it's useful if your opponent is running towards you or you're not close enough to your opponent to use melee damage, and it does inflict a damage over time ability. Number 6, Pillar of Frost. Now this requires one Frost rune in order to use, and the power of Frost increases the Death Knight's strength by 15% and grants immunity to external movement effects such as knockback for 20 seconds. Now at level 92 this will be upgraded so that the Pillar of Frost gives you an additional 5% strength bonus, and it no longer costs any runes to use. Now the reason that I like this ability is because of the strength increase it does give you. It does do a hell of a difference when in certain boss fights, and it's just really useful, and you can kill stuff exceptionally more quick. Number 5, Death Grip. Now this requires nothing to use, and it will harness the energy surround you and binds all matter, drawing the target towards the Death Knight and forcing the enemy to attack the Death Knight for 3 seconds. Now at level 92 it will reduce the cooldown of Death Grip by 5 seconds. The reason that I like this ability is just extremely useful when out training, as you can just draw in enemies from far away and shank the hell out of them before they even know what's happening. Number 4, Empower Rune Weapon. Now this requires nothing to use and does have a 5-minute cooldown. This will empower your rune weapon, immediately activating all your runes and generating 25 runic power. Now, as you can probably tell, the reason I like this ability is because it refreshes all your runes. So once you've done a lot of different combos using all sorts of different attacks and you've run out of runes, you can instantly use this ability to get them all back and continue fighting, dealing extra damage. Number 3, Army of the Dead. This requires one blood, one unholy and one frost rune in order to use, and can only be used once every 10 minutes. This will summon a legion of ghouls over 4 seconds who will fight for the Death Knight for 40 seconds or until they die. These will also swarm the arena, taunting and fighting anything that they can to help protect their master. Now the reason I like this ability is just really useful if you're say soloing dungeons and you need a little bit of help on a boss, as they can be the difference between completing the boss and dying. Number 2, Obliterate. Now this requires one unholy or one frost rune in order to use. This is a brutal attack that deals 185% weapon damage and has a 40% chance to cause your next Howling Blast or Icy Touch to consume no runes. At level 92 it will become empowered, which will increase the damage done by Howling Blast and Icy Touch by 20% when it causes them to cost no runes. So the reason I like this ability is because it does deal a hell of a lot of damage, and it's really useful when killing high level mobs. And number 1, Howling Blast. Now this will blast your target with frigid wind, dealing 90% of the attack power as frost damage to your foe, and 45% attack power as frost damage to all other enemies within 10 yards, and it will also inflict all with frost fever. Now frost fever will deal frost damage every 3 seconds for 30 seconds. Now the reason that I like this ability is because it's great for use where there are a lot of monsters attacking you at once. It does damage to them all and just really helps you out when dealing with a large group. So that is it for this video, and in case you missed the video a little while ago, I am now part of a TGN referral scheme, which are links down in the description below, which if you follow you can sign up to join the TGN network and become a TGN partner. It really helps me out and it'll also really help you out, so I highly suggest doing it if you haven't already done it. Well, to end this video, just like to say don't forget to punch that like button, leave a comment down below, and also subscribe. Also, most from me on my Twitter feed, which is linked down below as always. So, last thing to say, thank you so much for watching. I've been X.X, and don't forget to check out those partnering schemes. See you in a bit.